Many Republicans are ripping into Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and the 18 GOP senators who voted for the $1.7 trillion omnibus bill last week. Texas Congressman Pat Fallon on this show last hour saying when Republicans get the gavel next month, things will be different.
The adults in the room will finally be in the majority in the House of Representatives. And so we'll see. We only guarantee certain things when you control one of the three levers of government. And one of the things that we can guarantee are these trillion-dollar spending bills outside the regular budgetary process will end.
Let's bring in Princeton University political scientist Dr. Lauren Wright and former Clinton pollster Doug Schoen. Great to see you both.
Great
Lauren,
to see you.
What do you make of Republicans threatening to retaliate against these 18 GOP senators who voted to approve this massive spending bill? The GOP senators had argued that it would have been better to wait for the GOP to take control of the House in January to pass it, arguing that this would have given Republicans more leverage. Do you agree with them?
No, I don't agree with them because, frankly, and I'm sure it's an unpopular position, but Mitch McConnell is not the problem that Republicans have right now. The problem is the extreme Trump wing of the party, and McConnell, despite his unpopularity, yes, he's to blame for a lot of things, but he understands the drudgery and the difficulty of policymaking very well and didn't want to kick this can down the road to a time when Republicans do control one chamber, would be blamed for the spending. And he's thinking about, as cynical as it is, who's going to be to blame and what's the alternative? And frankly, the alternative for Republicans would have been a massive spending bill, just not quite as much in certain areas. I definitely understand the anger among the Republican caucus. It's an 8% increase in non-emergency spending. It's a 10% increase in defense spending. But what does the alternative look like? And is it worth a government shutdown? And those are the types of calculations that McConnell is making.
Doug, what will happen in 8 days when the GOP reclaims the House, you think?
I think there's going to be more polarization, more division, more fighting. And most of all, if you listen to the House Republicans, more investigations. I think we're going to see the right wing of the Republican Party, whether it be the 18 or so the Freedom Caucus in the House or the Trump wing, as Lauren was saying, in the Senate, being increasingly restive and increasingly assertive. This is a divided Republican Party. My own party, the Democrats, are divided between the progressives and the moderates. This is a recipe for gridlock or worse come the new Congress.
Molly Hemingway, the senior editor at The Federalist, is among those pointing the finger at McConnell. Lauren, she writes in The Federalist, GOP can't be successful until Mitch McConnell is gone. Rather than present a coherent and persuasive vision of what Republican control of the Senate might look like, too often McConnell overtly or covertly helped Democrats pass their signature policy goals. Will the GOP ultimately have McConnell to blame, I guess, for what will they assume be the demise of the GOP moving forward?
They really don't. And again, I understand McConnell is unpopular and he's a big focal point as party leadership. But, he's not that much more unpopular than Schumer is on the Democratic side. And that's because these people have highly visible, powerful positions. McConnell, if you look at the midterms, for instance, warned very early on that extreme GOP Senate candidates would cost Republicans the Senate in a year they should have taken control back because Democrats are very unpopular right now. Their message is unpopular. The economic policies are unpopular. We have historic inflation. So that's a time Republicans should be doing well, except for the fact that they're not paying attention to moderate voters.
Doug, I'm going to give you the final word to rebut there.
Yeah, I can't rebut. I think that's right. I think the Republicans would have won a pretty healthy victory if Donald Trump had not picked bad candidates and on the eve of the election made it clear he was going to run again. This is an evenly divided country. It's increasingly a center-right country, and it's increasingly a polarized country. I think we needed this spending bill to keep the government open, to keep our defenses strong.
Yeah.
The problem is we are completely divided. The problem is not what Molly Hemingway said, which is too much cooperation with Democrats. It's not enough bipartisanship to achieve the common goals of the United States of America.
All right. Thank